Hi, everybody. Um, First of all, congrats on, great start to this group. Really awesome participation. I'm loving all the pictures and the bonus point sharing. It's really fun, and it's nice to have everyone kind of interacting that way. So I appreciate you guys doing that. Um, but I just needed to kind of talk about something. And I'm winging this, and it might turn out long, and I'm sorry, but if you stick with me, I really hope that it's helpful to you, because I know that if myself now would have said this to myself a year ago, probably would have helped me out a lot. Okay, if you've been talking to me for a while, or you follow, my Facebook like page, or you've seen my website, you probably have an idea that I'm really all about intuitive eating. And intuitive eating, in a very short description, is basically just getting back to eating like we did before dieting started. So eating because we're hungry, listening to our body. We feel our stomach grumble and we go eat something. Not restricting food, just eating foods we enjoy. Not counting calories. Basically, completely diet free, diet mentality free eating. And it really is just all about listening to ourselves and not putting outside rules on how we eat. So, anyways, I've been doing this since like the summer because I had been on and off calorie counting and, counting my macros and whatever else, diet related. I had tried getting rid of sugar. I had tried low carb, high protein, everything that you can think of. I had tried at some point. I'm even vegetarian, even though that has nothing to do with weight. But I've done kind of the whole realm of diet ideas. And so that basically just led to yo-yoing and a binging problem, which is not uncommon because it just kind of makes sense biologically. When you restrict yourself for that long, you're eventually going to overeat, not necessarily develop a binging problem, but that's what happened. So anyways, I found out about intuitive eating, and so that's what I've been doing since then, and I've been kind of running a support group for that, and it's basically, it sounds dramatic, but it really has saved my life in a way, because my whole life revolved around food, revolved around weight, revolved around diets. That's all I talked about. That's all I thought about. It was hurting my relationship with my boyfriend, because that's, if I wasn't breaking down about it, I was, stressing about it. I was talking about it. Even on the days where I felt good about it, they didn't last long. So it was just hurting all parts of my life, and I didn't do as many social things because I was too stressed about, oh, what am I going to eat and whatever. So I convinced myself that, because I had tried the 21-day fix before, but I was not intuitive eating yet, and it failed, and I ended up binging on like day 12, and then I just quit because it was too hard, and I was doing the 1,200 calorie like bracket, which some of you might be doing. So I quit, and then I started intuitive eating, and so I promised myself that, I'm not doing any diet thing ever again. But, I know that I loved the workouts in 21 Day Fix, and so I was like, okay, let's find a way I can make this work. So if you watch that video, I have the Excel sheet, and I came up with all the foods that I like, and I made substitutions for them, and I made them work. And I convinced myself that that was intuitive because I was still letting myself eat whatever I wanted, but I was staying within the guidelines of the 21 Day Fix. But I don't know why I convinced myself of that, because nothing about that is intuitive. Because intuitive means that you listen to yourself, that you listen to your own body, and you eat what you want to eat. And even though I put foods in that I liked, the fact of the matter is the 21 Day Fix is a number of containers per day. And so, it's still a guideline and still a rule that's from the outside, and it's not relying on myself. And so, for example, if I've eaten all my yellows by 3 in the afternoon and dinner rolls around and I don't feel like having protein in a vegetable, according to the 21 Day Fix, too bad, that's all you have left, you have to. But intuitively, if that's not what I want, if I want a bowl of, soup that has potatoes in it or something, then that's not intuitive, that's following a rule. So, yesterday I just kind of just, I couldn't take it because it was just conflicting with everything that I have been working on, and it just conflicts with everything I believe, and that is not following diet rules. And so the 21 day fix, yeah, it's like trying to, create a balance in your life, and it's trying to incorporate a lot of healthy foods, but no matter how you look at it, it's technically still a diet, because unless you plan on only eating the foods on the list the rest of your life, or unless you plan on eating out of, containers, or unless you plan on eating those exact portions and that exact, you know, ratio of yellow to red to green the rest of your life, that means it's temporary, and a diet is temporary. And so I just can't, I can't make it work with intuitive eating, and I thought that I could, and I just can't. So that's one thing. Another thing is even if you feel like you're not on a diet, or even if you feel like this 21 day fix thing it doesn't feel like a diet to you, that's fine. However, you cannot feel like you're on a diet, but still have a very strong diet mentality. Diet mentality is thinking in things like all or nothing. I need to eat really, really healthy, perfectly healthy, or I'm just going to say, forget it. Other things you might say is like, that food is bad and this food is good. And if I eat that food, then I'm bad. And if I eat that food, I'm good. Diet mentality includes using the words like, oh, I cheated. Oh, I messed up. Oh, I failed. I need to start over. I should not have eaten that food. Just those kind of thoughts, even if you don't feel like you're on a diet, that's a diet mentality, because those are thoughts that you have on a diet. So I guess my point is, not everyone is at the same point in life, and not everyone's ready to kind of, try this, I guess. I probably wouldn't have been had I talked to myself a year and a half ago, but the thing is I can't be like a leader in this group and live with myself if I don't try and, I don't know, not convince you, but just let you know that the whole diet mentality thing doesn't work. And I'm not trying to say like throw out your containers, whatever. You do what works for you, or what feels good to you. But all I'm trying to say is that, like, the whole good and bad, the whole all or nothing, just, I feel like, maybe day 21 you'll have great results, but I don't want you leaving this group and going and losing all your results and feeling like crap after, once you stop doing the 21 day fix because it wasn't maintainable. I want people to be able to find something that's maintainable, that's enjoyable, and that puts yourself in charge and not something else. And so, I feel like the workouts are great, but I really do feel like if you're out of yellow containers and you feel like having a carb, I am totally in support of you doing that. I think what's most important in this group is that you're active, you're trying to do your workouts, you're drinking your water, you're getting a good amount of sleep, but that you are putting yourself in charge of your nutrition. So if you are hungry, eat. If you're out of containers but you're hungry, please eat. And if you, like I said, ran out of a container but you're hungry and protein doesn't sound good, eat something else. Because in real life, after this program's over, that's what you're gonna do. Once you stop doing the 21 day fix, you're not gonna say to yourself, oh, I have to have a protein. No, you're gonna eat what you feel like eating. Or I assume that's what you want to do eventually. Most people who are in a diet mentality or on a diet, in the back of their mind, they want to be a normal eater someday. They're like, oh, I'm in a diet and get to my goal weight, and then I will go back to normal eating. But it doesn't work. It can't work, because what's going to happen is if you're dieting, and you get down to that weight, if you go back to normal eating, which is usually, non-restrictive, no rules, then you're going to start gaining weight back because you are going from a restricted low-calorie state to eating normal, and you're going to start slowly gaining some weight back, and then you're going to want to go back to the diet. But when you intuitively eat and you just eat the same way forever, so you just eat when you're hungry, you stop when you're full, you eat foods you enjoy, so you're not feeling deprived, and you don't need to go binge on something because you can have that food, it's not restricted, then you maintain a steady weight. You don't drop as quickly, you slowly get down to your ideal weight, but then once you're there is no going back up because you were doing the same thing the whole time. If all of this sounds crazy, that's okay, because like I said, if I would have told this to myself a year and a half ago, I'd have been like, who are you? What are you talking about? That makes no sense. And I'm not saying this as a promotion at all, but I have answered every question that I can think of in a video. They're short, like 3 to 4 minutes, on my website, healthyasfit.com. If you have questions about how am I not going to go overeat all the foods I love, how am I not going to gain weight, how am I going to lose weight, what about cravings, like if you have questions like that, they're answered over there. And I hope that this is, I'm not meaning for this to be discouraging about the 21-day fix. I really want us to try and focus on creating a better mentality towards food, because food is food and we want to have a healthy relationship with it. And we don't want to look back on our life and think, wow, I spent my whole life basically worrying about food, restricting food, going through phases of restriction and overeating, worrying about my weight, trying to diet. I don't want to look back and see that. And I hope that you don't either, but it doesn't have to be that way. I want to look back on my life and say, food was great, but I spent my life worrying about a whole lot of other more important things. And I enjoyed myself, and I didn't worry about dieting and my weight my whole life. So that's, I guess, what I'm trying to say. But if you have any questions or comments kind of about this and how it's going to work with the whole group thing, like I said, this is just my 2 cents, and you can stick to the 21-day fix if that's what you want to do. Please do that if that's what you want to do. Just do whatever feels good to you, because that's what you should do. I'm just trying to offer up kind of my experience with it and just kind of maybe an alternative, just so maybe if you're thinking to yourself, man, this is kind of tough and I don't see myself doing this, after this group is over, then maybe this is something else you could think about. So yeah, those question videos might be really helpful to you. If you've never read Intuitive Eating, which I know a couple of you have, it's an amazing book. And no, it's not another diet. And there's a video on my website that talks about that too, because people are like, is this just another diet? And it's like, no, because that's the absence of dieting. Anyways, this turned out long, just like I thought it would. But I appreciate you watching it. And again, please don't hesitate to ask me questions below if you want to comment or message me personally about it or whatever. Just what works for you, but this is just something I had to say for myself. So I'm still doing those workouts because they are awesome and my butt is so sore. I loved Pilates today. I'm going to keep doing the workouts, and I'm just going to keep on going with my intuitive eating. So I hope that this made somewhat sense, and I hope to hear from you, and I hope that you have questions and comments, because that, helps. So have a good night. I hope you got your Pilates in today. If you're doing 21-day fix. If not, I hope you got whatever workout in you're doing. And I will see you on the group. Bye.